Hi everybody! It's time to make Sally. Who's excited? I see there's a bunch of you that were in here waiting for me before I even got here. I'm so glad that you're all so excited about Sally. I really love making things with these buttons, and it just gets me pumped up. And we have some gorgeous beads from Jewels as well today. I mean, you just can't go wrong. So as I said, I'm going to be making a Sally bracelet today. I think you've all seen the picture, but this is little Sally. You'll get to see a better view of her whenever I go down to the tabletop. Also, another exciting thing, I now have 2 cameras. Can you believe it? I don't have to make you seasick anymore. So it may take a minute to switch between the face and the table, but I'll be there. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Robin. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Maria. Maria was first. She was like here at 6 o'clock. So I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so excited to do this with you. Today's been a pretty busy day for me. My folks are here from Western Pennsylvania. So I'm excited for them to be here, and we always have a good time. So they're here today, and it looks like Zach is here. Hi, Zach. Love you too. Tina, this is Harley's Wild Jewelry. Hi everybody. We'll give you just a couple minutes to come on in, and I see that Miss Amber is in the comments tonight, guys. So that's super fun. So it's so nice to have her with us in any way, shape, or form. That's for sure. But yeah, that's all that's really been going on here. It was hot today. We had, I think it was around 84 here in PA. So I still don't go out. Not too much. I don't like the heat. So keeping the air conditioning. Tina, you're from PA too. Cool. Very cool. Becky. Hi, Becky. And there's Miss Joan. She just popped in for us at the bottom to help us out tonight. Thank you, Miss Joan, as always. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. So let's flip this camera around without making you seasick. This is so exciting for me. Just takes a minute sometimes just to go to the desk view, but it will get there. And of course, that'll fight me while I'm live. There it goes. All right. Look at this. You didn't even have to get all jostled around. I'm so excited. So here is Sally, guys. If you didn't see the pictures of her already, but this is my Sally bracelet. This is made with some 80 seed beads. I used the multicolor hemp on that. I also used 11 seed beads. 2 different Czech mixes on this, and of course our beautiful Sally button. I did end this with ribbon crimps and a magnetic clasp and chain. You can close it up that way. Probably tonight I'll probably just tie it off and show you how to put a button on it, but this is another way that you can do it. And if you're questioning on how to do the ribbon crimp ends, I did do multiple videos on the lives where I showed how to finish the ends that way. So, okay, a couple more people. Patty's here. Helena from New York. Oh my gosh, guys, you are, yay, Sally, she's pretty. It's so great to see you guys. Okay, so as always, for me, most of the time, I am using the original Jewel Loom, and please keep in mind when you're using your original Jewel Loom, it is flexible, not bendable. I just try to drive that into everyone's head because I'm as guilty as the next guy for being a little rough on them. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to take our rod, I'm going to place that here in the bottom, and I'm going to take this end right here, and I'm just going to push it into my tummy a little bit. You can't see my tummy, but it's there. And I'm just going to give this top just a little flex. And there we have our rod in, okay? And you can see how that does. That bows the loom. So when you take this rod out after you've warped, it's going to give you a nice, tense warp, so it's much easier to work with, okay? So I also am going to be using Wildfire, of course, today. This is the red color and the .006. And of course, I have my buttons laying here. These are 8/0s that I'm using for the base. These are called Transparent Rainbow Ruby. Very, very pretty. And then I'll go over our 11/0s once we get there. I got something in my bottle there that's not supposed to be there. But we're going to use, I love this multicolor hemp that Jules has to make these bracelets. They're super fun, and it really just brightens up the bracelet. So I'm going to take that multicolor hemp, and this is the 1mm, guys. You could use the thinner if you'd like to, but I really want this to kind of pop out, so I'm using the thicker. So I went up, if you saw me, that's habit there. I'm going wrapping around my knob twice. And then I'm just going to take and tie a good knot. So I have everything nice and snug on there, because this is going to be what helps you keep everything from slipping around. Okay, so we have a nice good tight knot on there. So I'm going to turn it over, and as I'm turning it over, I'm going to bring my hemp into one of the grooves here. Now, I'm not too particular on what groove I put it into to start, and especially even on the other side. I'm going to pull this across and keep intention on everything I'm doing, and then I'll put it in approximately the same place that I have it on the other side, okay? I'm going to bring it around, and you can see as I'm turning it here, you can see it's sideways, and I'm going to grab that button with my hemp, and we're going to skip one groove because we are using 8/0. So we're going to leave one groove between 8 each warp, okay? Just going to get that into the one I want it. We have one groove skipped. I don't want my, looks like my hemp's going to get knotted up on me, so I'm going to just pull that out. The last thing we want is some knotted hemp, that's for sure. And I just rolled this neatly before I started, you know. So we're just going to get that figured out here, guys, for a second. And Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl. Does somebody want to come over and help me with my knot? Here we go. Patience is a virtue, Tricia, right? Have to keep patience. Now, guys, you can change the colors up on this. Of course, you can. Do it to your taste. And you can also use different buttons if you like a different style. And you could do this to make any type of bracelet that you wanted to have that centerpiece on. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, it was neat, I promise. I'll tell you what we're going to do, guys. If this doesn't come out soon, we're going to get a different piece. You know, and I've been working with this all day and it hasn't done anything. But look, it's like the devil came in. So let me just cut this off, and we'll use the other 1mm colorful that I have, okay? That will keep me from going insane. All right, so let's cut that off, and we're going to get another view at how to hook it onto our loom. All right, now you better behave yourself. This is another colorful option that Jules offers, and see, he's wanting to start too. Let's get him out of there before he even gets any other ideas. There we go. Perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this back on here. Wrap around twice. Nice snug knots. There's always something that disagrees with you when you're on a live, I think, sometimes. Okay, get my knots in there. All right, now back over, and I'm going into that end groove, taking it across, and here is where we were. We're going to grab that knob on the back and bring it up over, and we're going to skip one groove, go across, and you can see I flipped my loom in my hand to get to this end, and then we're going to skip another groove, and we're going to grab onto that knob on the back, and another groove. We're going to go in here and skip one more. There. Okay. And one there, and do the same thing. Flip it back around. There we go. We're going. He's starting to get ideas, but we're going to put that in check. And we're going to skip one more here. Keep that tension, guys. I can't say that enough. And you can see on our bracelet, we have 4 beads across. So what that means is we're going to need 5 warps. So we're on number 4 now. We're going to bring that across. Same thing. Skip one. Wrap around the knob. And this is our last warp. We're going to skip one and bring it across here. Just like so. And keeping that tension, what I do is I'll pull the string around the back and I put my left thumb on it while I'm wrapping this around the knob a few times before I tie it off. And then I transfer that pressure over to here so I can cut it. Just like so. And then I'm just going to go under the warps with my string. It's hard to see because my hand's there, but we'll go under the warps. And then I'm going to go hold on to this string over here. And we're going to take this string and put it up through that loop and tie that baby off. Okay. And I'm also going to put 2 knots in this because it's just better that way. I feel like it's more secure. Okay. So there's one. Once you get that one in there, then you can leave up on keeping all that pressure on it. And we're going to do the same thing. Just slip it underneath the warps, around, and through. Okay. So the base is going to be fairly simple, guys. It's just your 8 O's, and it's going to just be solid 8 O's because you really, the core of this bracelet is our loops and our Sally button that really make it pop. So now I'm going to take my rod out and I'm going to push this into my tummy again just a little bit, give it a little flex. We're going backwards from when we started, and see, my bottom one came out first. But most of the time your top one will pop out when you do that, but it's just the angle of that metal on that top one. So here is our warp. This one kind of popped over a little bit, but we got it. And we're going to start with our 8 O's. We're going to do 4 crossed. Come on, buddy. Any ideas? So we're going to start with the 4 crossed here. And you're going to want to take probably about 2 arm spans of your Wildfire. And that's going to give you enough to get your 8 O's laid in. I have a piece of thread that I have here, and I'm just going to go ahead and thread my needle. It's a shorter piece because I'm not going to be doing all the steps on one piece, one loom. Okay, so I'm just going to thread that. Which I wanted to do before we started because you guys know. There we go. It did it great for us that time. And then I'm just going to take the end of the string and I'm going to tie this on our leftmost warp. Okay. I'm going to tie it twice. Tie it twice. Oh, Lord help me. And I'm going to lay out our really cute, beautiful beads. I use a crochet hook to put them back or move them. Works great. Put them back. Oh, your warps. That's a great idea. Okay, so I'm just going to put out our red beads that we have here. You can see I've been using these like crazy. And I'm just going to pick up 4 of those beads, 4 of our 8 O's. And I know most of you have this part down to a science, but we will do a few rows of it just because there are beginners out there. We want to make sure they understand all the steps. Okay, and I'm just going to push those up through between those warps there. Okay. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to bring it up and around my thread and my needle, and we're going to go across because we pushed up from underneath. Our thread is now running under. So we're going to go across these warps, and you're making sure that your needle stays on top of the warps and goes through your beads. Okay. And there you go. And you can see how I have that. The needle, you can see the metal between each bead. You know you're doing it right then because you can see that metal and you know that needle is on top. What will happen if you don't do it that way and you miss a bead or you go under or whatnot, your beads will just pop back out. So you'll have to redo it. They'll pop right out on you. So there's our first row. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up 4 more. And I'm going to take my needle and shuttle it across here. I drop my beads down and I use my finger and just sort of guide everything. And then my beads come along and I just hold that back until I get to a short enough length that I can go ahead and put those beads up through those warps. Okay. And then we're going to take, again, we're going to take our thread and needle and we're going to go over top of the warps and through the beads. Yes, I am using multicolor hemp, Nicole. It is so cute. I love it. It just really makes this piece especially pop. I really like it. So we're going to do that again. We're just going to do our 4 beads. And push them up through. And I find if you keep fingers laying on your loom like so, it'll keep it from bebopping around as much for you. Because a lot of times if you don't, you'll see it's just moving and moving and moving, and that can get pretty annoying. You're welcome, Nicole. It's nice to see you here with us tonight. Okay. Let's do a few more. Then we're going to get into the big guns of the project. So 4 more. How's everybody feeling about this part? Let me know if you want me to just keep going. Oops. Okay. And again, going under the loom, pushing up between the warps, like so. And then pulling it through. How's everybody feeling about that? Pretty good? Yeah, this is the relaxing part, Nicole. This is just like therapy going the whole way up there. But so there you go. That's the concept. And you're just going to continue that until you get to 3 inches. Once you get to 3 inches, you're going to run a row and leave 1 bead out of it. So basically, let's say this was a 3 inches worth here, because or half of whatever length you need. Say if you make your bases 7 inches long, then you're going to want a 3.5 inch. And that point is where you're going to want to do the bead that you're going to leave out. So half of whatever size you traditionally make your bases before putting on the clasp, etc. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to need something for our button shank to go down through so it lays nicely and hooks in well. So basically all you would do is this time we're going to pick up 3 beads. We're going to say this is halfway through the project. I'm at 3 inches, okay? I'm going to only pick up 3 beads this time. And I'm going to do the same thing underneath like so. But we're going to put 1 bead in the first one, 1 bead in the third one, and 1 bead in the fourth one. And your string's still there, but that's not going to be a problem. And then we're going to just stitch it across just like we would always do. All right. I'll hold this up so you can see it. So look, we're just leaving an empty spot. Easy peasy. You can just push your button shank right down through that. And then once you do that, you can just continue on with your base. Okay? So that is the basics on that. Now, here's a base that I did that is completed. I made this one black because I think I'm going to put Jack on this one. But this is the hemp that I started out using. These are the colors in it. And you can see that I did half of my bracelet. I left one bead out and then continued. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start our loops and then put our button on. Okay. So I'm just going to take some more thread. I'm going to thread my needle. For this, I probably would only do about one wingspan. Cut that. And you all know the trick of flattening the end of the cord with your pliers so it goes in easier to the needle. Go, go, Trish. My favorite color, lemon squeezy. Zach, you're silly. You're funny. So we got our nettle threaded. Anyway, so what I did, guys, is from this middle point, I counted back 7 on each side. Okay? It's as simple as that. Once I counted back the 7, I counted back 2 more rows. And you only do this when you start because you want to be able to weave your thread in a little bit so you can go back and tie it off. Okay? So we're going to go, this is going to be against everything you know. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to come in from the right side on that 9th row, and I'm going to go across. I'm just bringing my thread through. And I'm going to leave a little tail because we want to be able to tie that off when we're done. And then I'm going to go step up here and go through the left side of the 8th row. Okay. Bring that through just like so. So now I have some room to groove there. And then I'm going to come back through on this right side and I'm going to go through 2 beads and come out through that 2nd and that 3rd bead. Does everybody know what I'm saying there? You can see I'm coming up between the 2nd and the 3rd bead because you have to do that for your loops so you can work them comfortably. All right, so there's our red beads. These are some gorgeous, gorgeous colors that Jules has for this fun bracelet. So I'm just going to put out some of our 11-ohs, just some of each. And you can pick whatever colors make you happy. You know. Am I dumping my 8s? I'm dumping my 8s. That's not what I want. 8s and 11s in there. And then some yellow. Okay. Gorgeousness. And then I'm going to grab some orange here. And I did put some black in on my other one that I made that you're going to see our finished project. And apparently I did not bring the 11-oh blacks up here, which doesn't matter. You can use any combination of colors that you want. On this bracelet, I did not incorporate any black on the loops. So, and then I have 2 different Czech mixes here. This one is the new Halloween mix that Jules has, and I am in love with it. It's so awesome. I think she said she got that and she wasn't sure what she was going to do with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, that's perfect for Halloween. And then I have our green mix that I grabbed because I like to put the pops of green into it. Just sort of brightens everything up. So I'm just going to pour those out. A little bit of those. Because you want to get everything ready before you're ready to do your loops. Because all you want to do is just grab what you need there. Yes, it is. Thank you. I'm glad you think it is perfect colors for Jack and Sally. I just watched that movie yesterday as I posted. I stinking love that movie. So, okay. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to do consistent loops the whole way up. I'm doing 4 seed beads, and play around with this, guys. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the same pattern on either side. That's what the fun part of this is, that you can really have fun and make this just really interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I put my 4 11-ohs on. I'm going to grab a green bead. There's no rhyme or reason to what beads I'm grabbing here, guys, and keep that in mind. That's what makes this so cool, is it's not this perfect, you know, piece. It's just ragtag, kind of like Sally's dress, you know. So I'm going to pick up 4 more. If I can here. There we go. 2, 3, 4. And I didn't even pay attention to the order of it. All I see is a bag of candy corn. That is exactly what I thought. It just, it's screaming Halloween. So we came up between that second and that third bead there, guys, okay? And now I'm going to go back over, and I'm going to go through this first bead again and take this across and go through the second, through the third, and through the fourth out the other side. All right. And we're just going to pull our string till we get our little loop. We won't want our thread getting caught in there. And there you go. There's your first loop. Okay. So now I'm coming out on this other side. So usually I'll flip my loom. It just makes it easier for me. And then I'm going to pick up 4 more seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4 green on one side and 4 orange on one side. So we'll pick up our middle bead. And then put 4 orange on. And remember, guys, have fun with this. This is what this project is about, having a good time making it and enjoying it for Halloween. All right, so here we go. This is what I picked up. And that's coming out that first bead there, the 4th bead, whatever side you're on. But it's going to be the first bead for me because I flipped my loom. Okay, so I'm dropping those beads down, and I'm going to come over, and I'm going to go back through, it's hard to see, that second bead and out that first bead on that side, or third or 4th bead, however you want to look at it, guys. But you're doing like half and half. Now, the reason I'm doing this consistently and doing a loop on either side is because when we go to put our button in, we're going to want our loops to kind of spread down a little bit. We want them to kind of evenly go out. And the reason is because I don't like sewing the button on before I do loops. I like to put it on last because that gives you like that full filling of those loops under that button. And I think it just looks so much better. So now I'm going to drop down to the next row, and I'm going to go through the first and through the second. And then we're going up between the second and third and coming out here. All right. Let's get everything nice and snug there. And same process. There are so many fun beads in these mixes. Let me get this orange one down here so you can really see it too. I love it. It has red and orange and yellow, some clear, some pink. Super fun. So let's get 4 more on here. And let's put one of these spiky beads on. I like that. These are so cool. Oh, yes. That's right, Joan. You did find the Nightmare Before Christmas buttons at Walmart. That's awesome. So you're just, again, I'm just having fun, guys. Just pick up whatever pattern you want or non-pattern. I'm going to do 2 yellows in a row on this one, just to kind of keep things interesting. So now I'm coming out between that second and third. I'm going to go back around and go through the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. Okay. And 4 more. And that is basically the idea on the loop. So I'm going to keep doing some more for you here, but it's a simple way to embellish any bracelet. You could also do loops out, guys, if you wanted to. You know how sometimes we make projects and we have loops coming out the side of the bracelets that really makes it. That would be super cool too. Take it up a notch, you know, not just loops on top. So what does... I've never watched, oh, Vicky says, I have never watched this movie, but I have several cat pins I wore on my uniform apron that I think would work, and I can use the pins now that I am retired. There you go. Thinking outside the box, girl. But do keep in mind too, guys, if you are interested in the buttons, Dress It Up has a wonderful selection on their website. There is everything you can dream of on there. Let's pick up an orange square. That looks fun. And then we're going to do just all yellow on this one side. Okay. Oh, I'm a list. Well, you can always order what you need and watch the replay. So I'm going back into that third and out the fourth. Okay. There's 4. And now I'm going to flip it. It just makes my life easier. And I'm going to go into the next row, in through the first, the second, and out between the second and the third. Any questions, guys? Do you have an idea on the loops here? Is that gonna, do you need anything explained better? How are you feeling about it? Okay, so we put our 4. Ooh, I like this pink flower. Let's play with that a little bit, huh? Look at that. Isn't that cute? That's the nice thing about these Czech mixes. Oh, that goes right through the center of the flower. Oh, yeah, there it does. That is so cool. The Czech mixes has such a different variety and give you lots of choices. Thanks, Maria. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it here because I'm going to go on that other side. I'm going to go through here. I'm coming up between second and first because I'm right-handed. It just works for me to flip it on the side that I'm working, you know. So I'm going through those 2 beads, through the third and fourth, and coming out the other side. Okay. Pick up 4 more. And an accent bead. Let's do another green. We haven't done a green for a while. Those little pops of that green, I don't know, it just does something for the piece. Just really makes it sing. But these bright 11-0s, I am in love with. We use these on a project with our Creative Soul box, these colors, and just they're just lovely. So I'm going through the third and the fourth and coming out the other side. So let's get our loops finished up here. I'm going to work up to where this opening is here for you. So I can show you how to sew the button on easily. And then into that next row between second and third. Yes, that certainly is. We did use the least amount of the yellow and orange. That's a very good point, my friend. Oh boy, I got a little carried away on that, didn't I? I put all the seed beads on. There we go. Now we need to pick up a piece of Czech glass. Let's see, what color are we needing in there? Bright orange, I think. Yeah, I think this movie is so fun. This would be so cute to wear to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. Yes, it would. And they do have Mickey Halloween buttons too, guys. I actually have some right beside me here. I can't wait to use them. So they're just adorable. And yes, Sally would be gorgeous. Jack would be gorgeous. Just so fun. And so I'm just going to go through my first, through my second, third, and my fourth. What that little bug think he's doing. Taking the limelight. All right. Let's put yellow in there. So as I work up closer, when I get one row on either side, on this side coming into the row that we did our opening, I will just start using seed beads there. Because that way then it gives you a little bit more ease to be able to get in there and sew your button on. At least that's what I've found that works well. When you build it up with a lot of heavy Czech glass, it's hard to get in there. Now, if you wanted to, you could sew your button or put your pin on or whatever prior to sewing your loops. I just don't like the way that looks. I like it when it looks really full underneath. Okay, what do we got? You're working with a shank style button. What about a 2 or 4 hole bead? My brain stopped working. I'm eating water. A 2 or 4 hole bead? I don't know what you mean. Like for your focal piece in the middle? Is that what you're thinking? Or do you mean a 4 hole button? Oh, okay. Amber was my interpreter. She figured it out. Thank you, Amber. Yes, he's my girl for that. All right, so I just flipped it over again. Let's see how we're doing on time. I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to pretend we did our rows here, and I'm going to go to the row right next to it, next to where our hole was left. And I'm going to go in there and go between the second and the third. We're going to pretend all those others are done there because I want to be able to show you everything. And I just pick up 10 seed beads, guys, because we would normally be doing 8, but then I'm filling in an extra 2 for the piece of Czech glass that would be there, okay? All right. So here are 10 seed beads. And you can do it this way. If you'd like, you can put the Czech glass in. Like I said, I just feel like this works a lot better. And I'm going back through that first one, second one, third, and fourth, like we've been doing. So we're going to do 8 seed beads with our Czech glass loops. And then when we get to one row on either side of the row that we left with the open space, we're going to do 10 seed beads on all those loops. Okay? Is that making sense to everybody? There's 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we're going to go in to those beads and put a loop through the third and fourth, put your needle through the third and fourth, and that gives you your seed bead loop. Now, in the interest of time, I have done the same thing on my bracelet where I went into the one loop or the one seed bead beside the open space that we left and the two and did loops there as well. But now I'm just going to show you how I sew the button on. So you can choose to do this right in the middle when you're working or at the end and just put it on top. That's what I like to do. But I'll leave that up to you guys because you all seem to know what you like there. So true, you drool and your brain does a happy dance. Not great for concentration. Oh, Vicky girl. So here's Jack. He's adorable. And then we have Zero that comes with this, as well as two Jack faces. This is a simple mix, but it is pretty cool. So we're going to take Jack, and we're going to push these seed beads to the side, sort of, get everything kind of move out of the way, because we want Jack to be able to lay in there. And I'm just going to take that shank that's on the back, and I'm going to kind of wiggle him down through that hole. Now, I know that's going to be really hard to see because the shank is black, but it is coming through where we left that space, okay? And it doesn't go real deep through there, but it does give you enough that you can catch it. So now we were on the top, so actually I'm going to go through to the bottom here, just taking my needle and putting it through between the warps, down through the bottom. This is the hard part, guys, to see. I know. And of course, you know, if you have any questions after, let me know. All right, so we're underneath here. So I'm on either side of the, on the other side of the warp where the shank sits. So the shank sits here in the middle. I'm going to go up between on the other side of that warp. So that's how we're going to attach it. We're going to use those warps to be able to sew that on. Okay, and we're not sewing through the hemp, we're sewing around the hemp. So as I go through, I'm going to go here and catch my shank. And I say that, but you know, get in there. It's a tight situation. And you can leave a little room to bring your needle up through and then slide it across like so when you're first doing it. Once you get it anchored down and you're trying to put in those last few loops, it can get a bit tricky. Oh, come on, Jack. Don't do this. We had a talk before this. You said you would be cooperative. There we go. So we got a hold of the shank. I'm going to put it back down through that hole. All right. So he is there. Now we're just going to go on the other side of the warp, okay? The other warp. And I'm going to come down through there. So basically, guys, I mean, this is just basic stitching. You're just using those warps as anchors and just going through the button shank to adhere it onto your piece, okay? But you can see, you know, you don't put the beads there. Now to go back and put those on, it would be tricky. You could do it, but it would be tricky. So again, your choice, guys. So here we are, we're coming out the bottom. We're going to go back up on the other side of that warp and out underneath Jack there, okay? And then find that shank. You can kind of see it under there and send that needle through it and out the other side. And I found it only takes maybe 3 or 4 times through and it's nice and solid. So again, we're going to come back on the other side of that hemp. Come on. There we go. It's coming out through there. And then across to the other hemp and up between. So we have this anchor that's going across. Okay. If your stitches on all on top of each other, that's not a big deal, guys. It's the back and it's red. It matches the threads on the side and also matches the hemp. So here is our strand coming out with our needle, and we're going to go through that shank, out and back under, and then we're going to see how well he's on there. Okay. How's everybody feeling about this? I love the red bracelet you're wearing. This is the love cuff. This was something that Jules did for a while, and it was very, very popular. So we'll see. Jack's on there actually pretty sturdy, so we can go ahead and tie him off. And all I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to run my needle on one side of the hemp and then up the other side of it, like so, to tie him off. Pull my strand most of the way through. This is kind of just like when you're stitching with regular thread and needle, and then you go through that loop with your needle and tie that off. Again, on one side of the hemp and across to the other, getting a little snug in there. And then through the loop. And then you can just cut that strand and your button is attached. Okay. So now that we've done all that, we would have all our loops and our button on. It would be time to take your piece off the loom. So here's Sally, looking good as always, ready to come off the loom. So the way you want to do this, guys, is I'll turn my loom over like so, and I'm going to keep some fingers on the front, and I'm going to keep my thumb on the strands. So I'm holding my loom and holding my loom and the strands on the back. We don't want a big fire back because this is loaded, basically, because it's bent, and you don't want to, you know, do anything to your piece, and you don't want to do anything to your loom. So you want to make sure that this process is under control when you're doing this. Okay, so we're just going to back that off slowly so it doesn't go crazy. And then we let it go, and it just went flat, like so. Yeah, that would be fun to make a hocus pocus. Don't think it hasn't crossed my mind. I watch that every year. So what I'm going to do here, guys, now that we have a cutoff, I'm just going to take 3 strands on one side and tie a knot there for us like we always do to make sure nothing comes loose. Feed all 3 of those strands up through there. Okay. And then we're just going to do that on all the strands. We're going to make knots like this. Okay. So I'm just working that down slowly to the base. I don't want it to get too large, so I'm just kind of working it down slowly. I don't want it too far out, but we just have a nice little knot there. We're going to do that on all 4 of these ends. Okay, and it doesn't take but just a minute, guys, to make your button ends. As I said, if you want to put ribbon crimp ends on, there are tons of videos that I've done. You can go back and reference those and put your ribbon crimp and whatever clasp that you'd like. I have a magnetic clasp on the original one that I made, as I said, but you do you, as always, guys. I'm just going to tie these. And you're going to really love what button I've selected as the one we're going to use today. Because if we're going to do it, let's do it, right? If we're going to make it, and we're going to make it for Halloween, let's just do it. So this is our last one. I'm just tying a knot in that. All right, so we're all tied. Whoops, put it that way so we can see. So what I'm going to use, guys, is I'm going to use this creepy Jack round button. I think that'll be perfect for the piece. So I'm going to take the hemp and hope that everything's going to fit through my button well. And I'm just going to take these 2 threads and put those through the shank of the button on one side. Oh my gosh, can you stand it? I'm so happy with this right now. And then I'm just going to tie a knot there. And it's however you want to do it, guys. You can tie another knot here, but I'm afraid that'll extend us out too much. I just pulled that off to show you, but I'll put it back through here. It's just tie your button on, basically, is what this concept is. Did I miss the information on how to get Jack and Sally? Yeah, if you did, honey, I can tell you these are just dress it up buttons. And not just, but these are dress it up buttons. And they have the Jack and Sally, the Nightmare Before Christmas buttons. You can get them at dressetupbuttons.com, or I believe Walmart has them as well, because Joan picked up some there, this set. And they do have bigger sets that you can get on a website only. This is the Jumbo Nightmare Before Christmas set here, and it has a lot of different ones, and depends on how into it you are. So my fingers aren't cooperating tonight, guys. I'm tired. I apologize. I am pooped. We'll get there. We always do. All right. So we have our button on there. Jack, I love you. Now you're going to want to glue your knots, of course, to make sure everything stays where you want it. And now we're just going to make a little buttonhole on this side. And the easiest way, you can tie it like I was going to there, but I found that if you just take all the threads like so, all the hemp strands, and just make a knot, big knot with all your pieces, just make sure you have all 4 through there, or 5, excuse me. And I just play with this knot on the end here. I'm leaving it kind of big right now because I want to make sure that my Jack's going to fit through there. Now I'm going to cut those threads down, but so Jack will fit. I can actually see. That might be kind of perfect, actually. So we're kind of going to work that knot, and we're going to tighten it down right where I have it there. Another cool thing you could do, you could put bead dangles on the ends of these of any kind. Again, that would take it up another notch. So I'm just going to cut these threads here so they're manageable, these hemp threads. And that is it. And I can't believe we did that in an hour. But here is Sally with her Jack button. Let's put Jack through the loop here. Not all over JJB is the one near me. Stephanie, even if they don't have the Jesse James beads, the buttons are actually in a separate area. They're in the sewing department. And that's Jesse James Beads' sister company, is Dress It Up Buttons. So you may want to just check, even if you go online and just type in Dress It Up Buttons, they'll come up if they're there at Walmart. But here's Jack for our button on the back to hold it secure. And then we have Miss Sally. And when I do finish Jack, the one that I was working on here, I will make sure I post it for you guys as well. I think he is going to be super fun as well. So let me get my camera turned back around here, guys. Here we are. That was so painless. I love this thing with the new camera thing. So, as anyone has any questions, please let us know. They can cuddle together on our wrist. Yes, they could for sure. Jack and Sally would look so darling together, wouldn't they? There they are together. I love them so much. Oh, thank you, Jenny. I'm glad you like it. I love dangles. Robin, dangle till your heart's content. That's one nice thing if you're going to use a button closure like we did here. You have these strands that you can add things to. When you just put your ribbon crimps on, you have your ribbon crimps, and that's it, because you're ending that, putting the selvage edge on and putting your ribbon crimp on. So it's whatever you like. Some people like a neater finish than a button, but I just thought that would be super cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was super fun making. Had a great time, guys. Thank you everyone who joined us tonight. As always, we love you. We enjoy seeing you. And next week, we're going to have a fun live video. It's just going to be me again. I know you've been stuck with me for a long time. But next week, we're going to be making vampire earrings. So those are going to be interesting. Oh, you're so welcome, everyone. Can you see my necklace? Sure. This is actually my Sally necklace. I forgot I put that on. I wanted to show you guys. So it's a little hard to see, but Sally is on here. I have put her onto this piece here. There's a little Swarovski up here, an orange Swarovski hiding. And then this is actually a Czech bead. This is all Czech fire polish on leather. This is a technique that I learned a while ago. And it's just really neat because you can make this wrap of these. Oh, there's Tammy. Hi, Tammy. I didn't even see you come in. Hi. And Kaylee just walked in. She's like, Mom, it's 8 o'clock. So, but this is a Czech fire polish that you just make it into a roll and then put it on your leather. I also wanted to show you guys this one I made. This is Jack. A Jack necklace I made, and I hung a moon behind him. I guess the lights aren't that great for this, but you can kind of see. I put a vitriol moon behind him and then wrapped this all in fire polish. This lighting isn't doing him justice, but you know, I kind of love Nightmare Before Christmas. What can I say? So thank you so much again, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad everyone loves it. So be ready at 7 o'clock next Thursday for our vampire earrings. And I'll see you then, guys. Bye.